Hello, my name is Luan Girma, and my group mate's name is mahlet assaye, and we are group 24, and our project name is Gebeta. Gebeta is an ancient game that is played and used to be played in Ethiopia, and it belongs to a family of a board game called Minkala in Africa. It's a very uh, it's a very entertaining game, and it is being forgotten at this generation, and we thought, why can't we just make a video game out of it? But of course, it's a very simplified version would be nice for everyone to work with. So what we did is that we used the SFML library, and we have used, of course, we wrote the by C++ language, and we used the SFML library. And then as you can see here, there's the graphics, the audio, the windows, all these things are added or linked, so we can access them. So when we run the game, it is already run. This is what comes out. There is welcome to Gebeta sign first. That's what you see. That's what welcomes you. It says welcome to Gebeta, and there are three buttons. There's a start button, there's a help button, and there's an exit button. When we click on the exit, it's gonna exit. So I'm not gonna click it now, but I'll click it for you later. Then there's the help button. When you click on the button, what comes is a second window where there is an explanation about Gebeta, and a very short explanation, and just before they start playing around, they know what to do. And there's of course an instruction on how to play. Gebeta is typically a board with 6 bits and 1 star on each player's side. Your strategy for winning is collecting a higher number of stones in your stores from your friend's number of stones. The first player starts the game by choosing the number of the pit of their choice to start showing the 4 stones in the preceding pits. When the player drops the last stone in another pit, the player again picks all the stones up and drops them again in the preceding pits, until the player either encounters an empty pit in which the turn of the player ends, or encounter a pit with 3 stones, where they can add the last stone to them and capture them and capture and put them in their store and start their turn again. So this is simply it. It's not really as hard as people think, and that's why we made it into a game. And when we click start, this is where we can play along. There are 2 players, player 1 and player 2. These pits and the store belongs to player 1, and the blue pits and store belong to player 2. These 2 buttons that we see under the name of the players, which are end, is to show that when they click it, that's a way of saying, I have ended my turn, you go ahead. So let's just play a little version of it. 1 here, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. 1 here, 1 there. As I said, from the instructions, there are 2 choices. There are 2 possibilities to happen for the player that is playing currently to end his turn, and that is that he has to encounter an empty pit, or he has to encounter a pit with 3 stones. And it would be nice for that player for him to encounter a pit with 3 stones, because he would win those 3 stones and he put them in his store, and he has now a lead on the game. We move them precedingly. empty pit, that means I don't have to play anymore. That means I have ended my turn. So I click end here, and it says player 2, choose your pit number, and player 2 would choose from these pits, and it will go around. Yeah, that is simply it, and this will go on until they can collect stones to them. Like when they collect stones, for example, if I'm player number 1, I'll go here, and then I go here, like, when I win, of course. And if I'm like player 2, it will go there, we'll go there, and we'll go there. And it'll just keep on going until they collected enough, and in the end they will which one who has a higher number of stones in their stores would be the winner, I mean. So this is Gebeta. I like to point out that there's actually an audio to it, and the audio, wait, let me just run it again for you. When we run it, there is an audio, which is krar, sound. So we thought it would be nice for it to be incorporated, to be inside the game, because it's traditional, and we like to make it as traditional as possible, because Gebeta is traditional. Yes, this is Gebeta. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.